Well, hello, hello. Happy Saturday, October the 16th. Jen Patero here on the Saturday that marks the 4-week countdown. Like, I can't believe it. It's less than a month away that I'm going to step on a live stage with the UFE organization for their World Championship. I'm going to compete in the elite division in the morning at 10 a.m. and super duper excited, hoping to do really, really well. And by that, I mean, I really want to bring something better than what I brought in June to the virtual showdown event. You know, that is the number one goal. I need to beat myself. I need to bring something better than what I brought last time. And I feel like that's why this time I've been pushing a little bit harder to build as much muscle as I possibly can, and then obviously maintain as much muscle as I can, and then also to be as lean as I possibly can. So doing things a little bit differently this go around, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I am feeling at this stage of the game that I will bring a better Jen Patero to this stage than I did June 19th. And part of the reason I say that is because when I step on the scale now, I actually weigh the same as what I did the day I stepped on the virtual stage in June. So, and I'm also feeling as though I have been able to build a little bit more muscle. And as we know, lean mass weighs more than body fat. So as much as I weigh the same, I feel like I've got more muscle. My body composition has changed, and I'm a little bit leaner now, and I still have 4 weeks to go. So that's great. Feeling good about bringing the best possible Jen Patero to that stage. But I'm going to tell you, it has shifted how I'm feeling. This week, I noticed a significant energy shift. So that could be due to my cycle, my hormones. I always, the week before, not that I'm getting my period right now, but the week before I get my period, I notice I'm a little more hungry. There's 2 days of the week, 2 to 3, that I'm hungry and lack a bit of energy. And so I've noticed this week, a couple of days, there has been that shift in energy for me for sure. And so I don't know if that's because of the stage of the prep that I'm at, or cycle related, or some combination of both, but I have certainly noticed that shift. The other thing that I've noticed this past week is a little bit of brain fog setting in. So at nighttime, usually around 7, somewhere, anytime after 6 o'clock at night, it's not a headache that I get. I just get a bit foggy is the best way to describe it. So I do think that the fact that I'm pushing harder this go around with my fitness, my training, and I am a little bit leaner this time, is affecting my hunger level, where last prep I did not ever feel hungry, and I felt that that was very unusual. Most people found that that was unusual. I think this time's going to be different, and these next 4 weeks are going to get quite interesting, and I may get hungry. I think it's going to happen this time. Anyways, because I do know as soon as I am done working out, I need to eat pronto. And I'm continuing to really push. Now, I say that, I mentioned last week, it's a new program, and it's a different kind of program where it's more about muscle endurance It's not really focused on building muscle. So I have had to shift my weights, and I've had to scale back a little bit this week. I still want to exhaust the muscles, but I don't want to overdo it and do damage and injure myself. So I have had to scale it back. And then each week, to progressively make things harder for myself, I'm not going to be necessarily increasing weights as I have been, but I'm keeping track of holds at the top of movements. Or sometimes it's a negative, like I do a pull down, lat pull down, and then gradually release. So slowing down the negatives, or just slowing down the movement in general. So that is how I'm now making things incrementally harder for myself week over week, not necessarily increasing my weight. And that's been a mental shift for me. I internally battle, it's crazy, as I'm going through my workouts and wanting to make sure that I'm pushing things to the limits. But if I'm not increasing the weight, somehow in my brain, I feel like, I ask myself, am I doing enough? Am I pushing hard enough? Anyways, so a bit of a mental shift has occurred in the gym, but I think I'm doing great, and we'll continue to progress and make things more and more challenging for myself. And then with respect to nutrition, I mentioned that already. I have a feeling I'm going to get a little bit hungry here. So we will see. Stay tuned. The thing that I'm doing, I said last week, I mentioned something about, eating first thing in the day and then not eating anything, sitting twiddling my thumbs, being hungry. I most certainly do not sit and twiddle my thumbs. I keep incredibly busy. The busier, the better. So work, very busy right now, which is great. I'm also a tournament convener for my son's hockey association. So things there have gotten really busy. I'm upping my posing. I'm doing more of that. I'm just keeping busy, and that keeps me from thinking about hunger. And I think that is really helping as well. So that's really the update with respect to my nutrition and my exercise. I will now move on to sort of my updates in my macros and my weight, because it's been an interesting week. Last Sunday, how much did I weigh? I weighed 120 pounds. Okay. Today I stepped on the scale. I weigh 118.8. But I'm going to tell you, all week I weighed 119.8, 119.8, 119.8, 120. I stayed so constant. And then all of a sudden, woke up this morning and I had dropped a pound. And I have a feeling the reason for this has to do with an increase in my stress level, which has to do with me keeping uber busy. Work, stressful. Tournament convener, I got emails coming in trying to set up these, incredibly stressful. I wake up every morning at about 4:00 and I'm sending emails and I can't fall back asleep. So my body's under stress. And what happens when your body is stressed? You retain fluid. And so I think that is why my weight stayed so constant all week. And then all of a sudden last night, I forced myself to stay in bed until 8:00 this morning. I would sort of lay there, roll over, try and doze back off. And the stress release, it's the weekend. I honestly, legitimately feel like that is why my weight shifted this morning. Not gonna lie, stress plays a big role in what's going on in your body and your weight. So that's my weight update. My macros last week were 125 grams of fat, which was held constant from the week before. My protein had dropped by 10 grams from the week before down to 95. And so my total calories daily, 1545. This week, we are dropping both fat and protein by 5 grams. So I go to 120 grams of fat, 90 grams of protein, total calories, 1480. Keep in mind, these are very specific to me. Everybody's are different. So this is what's working for me. Just and I just want to share so that everybody's aware, but just keep in mind yours will be different. But that's the plan. So dropping both fat and protein, but this is my first week to introduce a ketogenic caloric refeed day, which will happen on Friday. I'm going to bump the fat to 140. I'm going to bump the protein to 105. So my calories on Friday are 1720. And we'll see what that does. And I'll take some pictures and see how that fills me out. We're doing this in preparation for show day, because you usually do a refeed the day before to sort of fill out your muscles, increase your vascularity. And so this is the first trial run. Now, originally, Robert, I feel, had slotted me for one of those this past week. Like, he was thinking I might have done one yesterday. Unfortunately, for me, he pulled the plug on that. But honestly, I feel like I really could have used it this week. Anyways, looking forward to it next week, and I'll keep you posted, let you know how that goes. And then for my posing, I am going to do a quick rundown of my quarter turns. Next week, maybe I'll share some of my T-walk posing. But today I'll just do the quarter turns, and I'm not wearing anything too fancy, but I'll just try and do my walk again, show you my hip action, and just do some quarter turns. We'll see how this goes. I wasn't too impressed with mine last week and the swaying of my hips. So, front pose, close it off, and lots of hip action, swaying my hips, and go into a front pose again. Close it off, quarter turn, into the back of my hair. Back pose, flick of the hair, lots more hip action and flowy. Oh, and cutting off my head and my arm. Back up a bit. And that's it. Back round to the front. I'll back up a bit so you can see my face. And front pose. And then I'm going to say goodbye to the judges. And that's it. That's it for today. Trying to get those hips a little more movement and flowy. These heels aren't quite as high as the ones that I'll be wearing, of course, on stage, but they'll do for today. That's everything. All the updates, and hope everybody has a phenomenal weekend as usual, a fantastic week, and I'll be back with more updates, and I'll let you know how hungry I am this week. I have a feeling I'm going to be a little more hungry than I have been in the past. So anyways, stay tuned, stay well, have an awesome week, and I will chat with you soon. Bye for now.